crane stance or pigeon-toed stance. Let's start with the feet together, heels together, and the insides of the balls of the feet together. Relaxed position, or relax the shoulders, bend the knees, relax the lower back, right? Let the body roll under, let the hip roll under. And from here, raise the hands up and make a really, really loose fist. Bring the hands to the waist. And rest the hands right on the hips in our chamber position. Now we're going to open up the toes. So what we're doing, I'll lift my pants so you can see. You're going to open up the toes. Now from here, raise up on the heels and turn the heels out so the toes are facing in. So I'm making this little V position. Okay? Keeping my hands on my waist so you can see. All right, we'll do that again. Feet together. Right? I'm raising the hands up, making a really relaxed fist. Resting my hands on the waist. You can also put your hands on your hips too. Open up the toes. Raise up and open up the heels. So I'm turning in. Right? You can see my feet turning in. Now what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to rock my weight forward. And as I rock my weight forward, gently press into the floor of the toes. Right? See, it's like my toes are catching my weight. And once I do that, I can feel that I have the force of my body pressing down because my heels are still on the floor. Now, rock the hip under, right? See that from here? Roll the hip under. And then, after you do that, rotate the knees inward. Okay? So I'm not just squeezing my knees in, I'm actually rotating them in, right? Right? Rotating them in. And when you rotate them in, you'll feel like your hip will want to stick out again. So, right? You see that as I'm rotating in, it looks like the hip wants to stick out. So, after you rotate them in, you can tuck under yet again. And the whole idea is this creates an entire chain of energy, right? So I'm leaning forward, toes are into the floor, bending the knees, rotating the knees in, and rocking the hip under. Now, all the energy is on the inside of the legs and shooting all the way down to the floor through my toes. And those three key points are really important, right? Rocking forward, making sure your toes press into the floor, right? Tucking your hip under and rotating the knees inward. And if you do all three together, it creates a whole chain of energy. If you miss one of them, the energy circuit's broken. So that's what is vitally important in a crane stance. Because in a crane stance, what you're doing is you're putting all the energy in the inside thigh, and you're powering up the lower dantian, like in the perineum and the lower dantian. And the basic hand position is usually right on the waist, right in the chamber, right, because it's at the level of your dantian. Right? You can also drop your hands, open up your elbows, and this puts like the focus right between the palms is right where the perineum is. And so that puts the focus on the perineum dantian as well. And so that's one position, right? Or that's another one. And there are other hand positions you can use as well in the crane stance or the pigeon toe stance. But generally speaking, this is a really good starting Qigong position because it's really relaxed. It's almost like you're just doing a standing posture. But, right, so we can open up, and there you go. It's really simple. It's really close to a standing posture, taking care of the inside of my legs, helping me align my spine and the hips, and it's waking up the central line. It's waking up the central line. And it's a really nice setup or warm-up or transition before you do a horse stance because it's kind of like the opposite of a horse stance. So when I'm in a horse stance, I'm sitting and pushing my knees outward and putting the focus on the outsides of the legs. Whereas when I'm in a crane stance, I'm putting all the focus on the inside of the legs, so it's a good balancing posture. Okay, so looking at that once again, right? Feet together, bend the knees, relax the shoulders, hands up, loose fist, resting the hands right on the waist, open up the toes, open up the heels, okay. Remaining relaxed, rocking the weight forward, and roll the knees inward, roll the thighs inward, and tuck the hip under. Creating a nice chain of force, relax the upper body, let the weight of the upper body sink down, and we're just letting the energy charge up on the lower part of the body, or I can relax my arms. Take a few breaths, and get my energy gates open. And that's the crane stance or the pigeon toe stance. Try it with your workout or add it into your regular posture routine.